Welcome back, friends. This is Velma from Leaders Pathway, where leaders go to grow and high achievers like you come to breathe again. So go ahead, inhale, exhale. Yeah, doesn't that feel better? Okay, well, friends, we are in the middle of our Escape Burnout and Reclaim Your Life series. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, well, welcome to the party, and you might want to go back and rewind and catch up on episode shift 1, which is about prioritize what matters, shift 2, which is to protect your energy, and shift 3, which is about lead from your values. Because today we are diving into shift number 4, which is protect your boundaries. So how do you escape burnout and reclaim your life? Well, you protect your boundaries. Or, as I like to say, you're allowed to say no and still be liked. My friend, if you don't set boundaries, burnout will set up shop in your life, and it'll bring its friends like resentment, fatigue, and questions and statements of like, why did I say yes to that? If you've been there, if you're going through that, I have been there and I hear you. Now, before we dive into Harold's next move, we are continuing our story, the journey of Harold, our high-achieving executive friend. He is back, and this time he's double booked and running on caffeine fumes. But before we go there, let's talk about you. If you've been feeling like your time isn't your own, like your calendar is a suggestion box for everyone else's emergencies, and you're quietly wondering, when do I get to have a life? Well, then this is your moment. Then I want you to email me at velma@velmaknowles.com and put the word boundaries in the subject line. So email velma@velmaknowles.com and put the word boundaries in the subject line. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a calendar link so you could pick your most convenient time for us to set up and chat. Yep, it's my gift to you. No pressure, no performance, and absolutely no judgment. It's just my way of saying, hey, take a fresh start and maybe have some chocolate back in your life too. Let's set up some boundaries, because boundaries don't mean boring. They mean breathing room. Okay, let's jump into our story and let's continue our journey with Harold. Remember Harold? The high executive achieving leader here, well on his journey to escape burnout. Harold finally realized this. He realized that his yes addiction was costing him clarity, credibility, and connection. And so today we will talk about what he did to reclaim his schedule and a little bit of his sanity in the process. Now you might be thinking, I know Harold. He's the kind of guy everybody loves because Harold always says yes. Yes, I can take that meeting. Yes, I can lead that task force. Yes, I can fix it. And yes, I'll stay late tonight. Yes, yes, yes. He is great on winning in the office, but at home, he's missed his daughter's soccer game again. Third one in a row. And this time, she looked up at him and she quietly asked, "Are you coming to the game this time, Daddy?" Yeah, that broke something inside Harold. And maybe it's hit you too, because I think a lot of us have been there. That night, Harold made a decision. No more default yeses. It was time to protect what matters most. It was time to set up some boundaries. So here's what Harold did and what I'm going to tell you that I think will help you to escape burnout and reclaim your life. Remember, boundaries aren't mean, they're mature decisions. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're actually wise choices. And boundaries don't keep people out, they keep you in alignment. Harvard research backs this up. It says that leaders with strong boundaries are 31% more productive. Wow. And 58%, more than half, more fulfilled than those who don't have any boundaries. That's not fluff. I mean, that's science. So what did Harold do to turn things around, to put those boundaries up, escape burnout, and reclaim his life? Well, let's break it down together. I'm going to share 3 of the things. Now, he did a little bit more, but I want to give you 3 of those. Move number 1 is Harold created hard stops. Let me explain. Let's be honest. Is your calendar, is it set up that it will run your life, or are you running your calendar? Because your calendar will actually run your life unless you run it first. So Harold drew the line at 5:30 p.m. No more meetings after 5:30. Full stop. And at dinner, the phone stayed off the table. Literally. No more email scrolling over his meatloaf dinner. He made it home time, and he made it sacred. Non-negotiable. What's the non-negotiables in your life? Because this worked for Harold, and it can work for you too. So try this. Set a shutdown alarm. That's right. We set an alarm to go everywhere. Set one to shut down. And when it goes off, you're done. Period. Let the world wait. I promise it'll be there when you come back. Move number 2 for Harold. Harold communicated those boundaries without apology. See, at first, Harold would struggle. Well, what if they think I'm lazy? Well, what if they think, I'm being selfish? Well, what if they stop inviting me to the meetings? But guess what happened? They respected him more. Why? Because clear is kind. They invited him to the meetings, to the ones that he could add the most value to. Harold let his team know, hey, I'm committed to our work here, but I'm also committed to being present with my family. And so after 5:30, I'll be offline, but I'm all yours before then. His team respected it because it showed them that he cared about family, and they were family too. That worked for Harold, and it can work for you too. So I want you to try this. Practice saying it out loud. I know, talking to yourself again. But I want you to do it with confidence. Not, I'm so sorry, I can't. Say, thanks for understanding. This is part of how I do my best work. So, move number 3. Harold used scripts to say no with clarity and compassion. Now, I'm not suggesting you read a script. I'm suggesting that you pre-decide how you're going to respond to saying no with clarity and compassion. Because saying no doesn't have to sound like a slammed door. I helped Harold create some go-to scripts that work like magic because he tailored the concept to his own voice. And it showed that he was honest, kind, but firm. Like, here's one for you. I'm honored you thought of me, but I can't give it the time that it deserves right now. Let me know how else I can support you. This type of boundary, this type of script that set those boundaries in place, it works for Harold, and it can work for you too. So I want you to try this. Write down 2 to 3 of your own scripts. How will you set up boundaries? How will you say no without it sounding like a slammed door, with clarity and compassion? And then keep them handy. It's easier to say no, my friend, when you already pre-decided how you're going to. So let's recap Harold's boundary blueprint, as I like to call it. He, 1, created those hard stops. Protect your evenings like they're treasure, because they are. Number 2, he communicated boundaries without apology. Remember, you train people how to treat your time and how to treat you. And number 3, use pre-planned scripts. Decide or pre-decide how will you say no? Because when you're under pressure, it makes it hard to think, how can I say no in a kind and compassionate way? So be ready in advance. You know this to be true. Real leaders don't say yes to everything. They say yes to what matters most, and they protect it. So if you're feeling like you're done and you're overbooked, overworked, and overlooked, well, email me at velma@velmaknowles.com. Put boundaries in the subject line, because I'm going to send you a private link to schedule a call with me where we'll talk about your current commitments and how to start reclaiming your life from the chaos. And yeah, A special bonus. When you do that, when you book time, I will also give you my top 5 boundary scripts free. Because burnout isn't a destiny you want. It's the boundaries that you set up to become your breakthrough. Well, that's it for today, my friend. If you're tired of living by everyone else's expectations, or maybe your schedule feels like a slot machine and you're losing the jackpot every day, well, I want to encourage you to start by protecting your non-negotiables. Because boundaries, they're not rude, they're actually responsible. And they don't push people away. They make space for the right people to come closer in your life and in your work. Now, in our next episode, we'll talk about beating busy to help you escape burnout and reclaim your life. We're going to unpack why doing less on purpose is the surprising secret to doing more that matters. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe, and hey, do me a favor. Share this episode with a friend who always says yes, you know who they are, and secretly wishes that someone would just tell them that it's okay to say no. I want you to be that person to them. Because your life and their life, it's not a public park, it's a private garden. And boundaries, they're the fence that keeps it beautiful. So in the meantime, protect your non-negotiables. Because as a leader, if you don't have boundaries, it's like a house without walls. You're exposed, exhausted, and in need of repair. Want help building your boundaries? Well, email me at velma@velmaknowles.com. Subject line boundaries. And that, my friend, is how you will become the most valuable leader in the room. I'm Velma, and God bless. I'll see you next time.